Since trusted home improvement experts. Trust the pros.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Okay, we'll send these snakes slithering back to the desert.
Track! Wall! See you later!
It's the Brewers and Diamondbacks in Milwaukee. This series is sponsored by Steinhoffel's Labor Day Sale. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05 on the home of the Brewers. News Radio 620, WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Good morning. 10 o'clock. We have 69 degrees. Look for increasing cloudiness this afternoon and an isolated afternoon or evening shower possible. High today 76. From the WTMJ Breaking News Center, I'm Connie Weber. In Minneapolis, multiple victims following a shooting incident at the Annunciation Church School. The suspected shooter believed to be dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz on social media calling it a horrific act of violence. Here's ABC's Olivia Rubin.
The governor says that this is a young Catholic school. Just looking up information at the school right now, it says it's a preschool to 8th grade lower school, which is, again, just horrific. I would also point out that they're saying that this is really the first week of school. This is when kids are going back. We know there's also a large federal response going on right now. The FBI responding, ATF responding.
WCCO Minneapolis' Steve Simpson is on the scene.
This is happening at Annunciation Church, but it is also a Catholic school for kindergarten through 8th grade. We can also say, according to their website, they have a mass every morning at 8 a.m. That would jive with close to what we believe the timelining of this would have been. But again, whether this shooting happened in the church, near the school, we simply don't know.
Officials say the situation remains fluid. More details are forthcoming. Keep it right here on WTMJ. We'll keep you updated throughout the day. As southeast Wisconsin waits for potential federal relief from historic flooding earlier this month, the Trump administration has suspended more than 20 FEMA employees who signed an open letter to Congress.
CBS News has reviewed copies of the emails placing the employees on administrative leave. The announcement says the employees will continue to receive pay and benefits, but they cannot take any action in their official capacity. Employees are expected to remain available during working hours and were asked not to share the email announcing their leave. All employees being placed on leave signed their names in a letter warning Congress that the Trump administration has hampered FEMA's ability to handle a major disaster. Jesse Mitchell, CBS News.
Goods imported into the U.S. from India now subject to a 50% tariff. President Trump's been insisting India stop buying Russian oil while negotiations are underway to end the war in Ukraine. Vice President J.D. Vance says the U.S. is trying to make it harder for the Russians to get rich from their oil economy. Kroger planning layoffs. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says about 1,000 employees of the nation's largest grocery chain's corporate offices will be let go.
According to Reuters, in a memo to employees, interim CEO Ron Sargent said the cuts will simplify the organization and will free up money to lower grocery prices and to help them add hours for store employees. Now, the company has given no indication that these cuts have anything to do with tariffs.
Layoffs will not affect anyone working in stores or distribution sites. Kohl's announces a $153 million second quarter profit despite a more than 5% dip in quarterly sales. Interim CEO Michael Bender says the Menominee Falls-based retailer's performance has exceeded expectations. Kohl's has posted a yearly profit of $139 million compared to $39 million through the same period last year. One man is dead, another hurt after a UTV crashed in the town of Milton.
Authorities say it happened just after 10 Tuesday night on East Vincent Road. The Rock County Sheriff's Office says a 48-year-old man from Edgerton was driving the UTV when it crashed. He was taken to the hospital with non-fatal injuries. His passenger, a 62-year-old man from Florida, died at the scene. According to the DNR, there had already been 27 ATV or UTV-related deaths in Wisconsin this year, making this crash the 28th. The victim's name has not been released yet. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
An elementary school principal in Germantown who was facing termination instead decides to resign. MacArthur Elementary School principal Tony Gonzalez submitted his resignation Monday to the Germantown School District. School board Tuesday night unanimously approved his resignation. School board president Russ Ewert.
Yesterday, we received a letter of resignation from the administrator. At that time, it changes this from a termination hearing to a closed session regarding consideration for administrator's resignation.
A letter to parents noted Gonzalez was on a leave of absence and not expected to return as principal. That did not provide a reason for Gonzalez's leave. Time for news about your money and the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 115 points, NASDAQ up 25, S&P 500 up 10. Financial planning at every level, Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:04.
An unsuspecting driver at a gas station in Wisconsin.
Welcome, Pump 15. How you doing?
Great.
Were you wearing your seatbelt today?
I never wear my seatbelt.
We're going to get him. We're going to get him real good.
Oh, my goodness.
Hello, sir. How you doing? Donald Driver. It takes 1 second to strap a seatbelt on. Well, let's do this. Let's do it together. Now, don't that feel better?
Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways.
And I should have recognized your voice when you're harassing.
I'm watching you.
Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
Bill Berrien is a former Navy SEAL, a businessman, and he's running for governor.
I'm Bill Berrien. While the globalists and corrupt politicians shipped our jobs to China, I went all in on Wisconsin. At my manufacturing business, we hire American, build American, and take the fight to China. I'm an outsider and a businessman who puts America first, just like President Trump. Together, we will make Wisconsin manufacturing great again.
Bill Berrien for governor, paid for by Bill for Wisconsin.
If you've ever worried about your heart, if you've ever loved someone with heart disease, if you've ever wondered if you're the one at risk, let's remind ourselves that we are not powerless. Because at the Froedtert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network, we're pushing to outsmart heart and vascular disease by working with you personally to understand your history, assess your risks, and guide you to heart strength. By digging deep with tireless research and offering access to leading-edge clinical trials. And for the most serious conditions, including heart failure, heart valve disease, arrhythmias, and vascular diseases, we provide renowned expertise and the most advanced life-saving procedures you expect from academic medicine. So let's get out in front of heart disease. Let's outsmart it. Let's keep pushing so that every one of us can outrun it and embrace every beautiful day life in Wisconsin has to offer. To learn more about our nationally renowned heart and vascular care, visit froedtert.com/heart.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Milwaukee beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 9-8 on a walk-off sacrifice fly by Isaac Collins. Shelby Miller earned the win in relief, his first since being acquired from Arizona. Teams continue their series today. Packers reached their initial 53-man roster on Tuesday. They opened the season September 7th at home against the Lions. And the Wisconsin football team begins its season this week. Badgers host Miami of Ohio at Camp Randall Thursday night. UW has won its past 3 season openers and its last 8 non-conference openers. Badger Sports Update sponsored by Siding Unlimited, siding and a whole lot more. Take a look at the roads now with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. It looks like a I-41 east at the ramp from Forest Home Avenue. Right lane there was blocked due to a disabled vehicle. It looks like that has been cleared off. Still a little bit slow. I-94 eastbound the Zoo interchange into downtown. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. After morning sunshine, increasing cloudiness, isolated afternoon and evening showers possible, high 76. Chance of showers and storms into the overnight hours and Thursday morning. Overnight low 60, Thursday's high 70. Mostly sunny Friday, high of only 66. Sunny weekend, sunshine Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's high 70, Sunday we're looking at 74. 67 in Madison, 63 in Green Bay, 69 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber, Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:08.
Broadcasting live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios at the Avenue. It's time for Point Taken. Here are your hosts, Steve Scaffidi and Kristin Brey.
And good morning, everybody. As we come on air this morning, Kristin, we have we know that we have seen many news stations, networks covering a shooting in Minneapolis Catholic school and church. South Minneapolis. I want to get into the numbers yet, because until there's a press conference, I don't trust any of the numbers. But obviously, school shooting, a common story in the United States, and one that we will continue to monitor. We'll have updates, of course, with County at the bottom and the latest from ABC.
It's the first week of school.
Yeah, they started on Monday. This school started on Monday. It's Wednesday, so they've had 2 days of normal, and then we're greeted with this. And you and I have talked about gun violence before. We've talked about mass shootings, school shootings. This is another example at this moment where parents send their kids to school. And as I'm saying that, I'm reading that parents are now going to the school and in some cases being reunited with their kids, in some cases not. Because, again, we don't know the horror numbers yet because all accounts sound like, according to the mayor of Minneapolis, I believe his last name is Fry, he called it or described it as horrific scenes of violence. The shooter apparently has been contained. It's according to the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz. We don't know a ton yet, but we're going to continue to stay on this story. It's one that frustrates me. You and I have shared this conversation so many times now. It's just, this is what we do. We have these things happen, and we talk about it for a bit, and then it just sort of
happens. It just happens again.
Yeah.
What was it? Was it last week or this week that we were talking about, like, what's your biggest worry sending your kids back to school?
This would be one of them.
And it's just, I think for American parents, you can't not have this be top of the list because it feels so random. It feels like it happens so often.
And it's somebody used to say to me when they accused me of talking about this stuff too much, which whatever.
I mean, do you talk about it? You talk about it a lot because it happens a lot.
Yeah. The idea that, because there are people that do what we do who say this is just, the way it is in our country. Media's making too much out of it. No, I don't think so. There is a significant increase in shootings in and around schools. I think to argue the other point is just making an argument of the absurd. It doesn't make. I know why you're making the argument, because you want to, have people think that maybe guns are a problem in our country, especially in and around school and school zones when they are. And I think all of us in this country at some point, and this is like a big ask, have to understand there has to be some measures that we put in place that actually restrict access to some people who have the ability to carry out things like this. Again, we don't know a lot yet. And we're not going to spend a lot of time talking about it yet because I would rather wait for a press conference to at least fill us in on the confirmed detail. But these are stunning. It's shocking for parents. I'm watching the reaction of these parents picking up their kids. Their kids are safe. And they're sobbing hysterically because for them, their kid's okay.
They're relieved.
Yeah. The rest of them, they don't know. And by the way, this is a Catholic school. Not that any school makes any difference what it is, but it's like this is a Catholic school. I think there was scheduled to be because if you've been to Catholic school, you have morning mass during the week. That was supposed to be happening. It was sort of the drop-off time. Lots of network coverage on this. We'll continue to monitor it throughout the day. I'll say this. As somebody who's sort of experienced mass shooting from a public perspective, leadership perspective, because that's what we're going to talk about. We were going to talk about this anyway. This is where leadership is defined. Not just with the words you say, but what you do with those words and how you react to situations like this. There are tremendous examples around the world where countries had hideous acts of mass violence, and they did something about it. We have this sort of throw up your hands reaction. We put our hands together and pray for a day or two. Then we sort of go and listen to the press conferences, and then we have a vigil. Happens in many cities, and we place flowers and remembrances. And then it slowly fades until the next one, and those spikes for mass shootings keep happening over and over again. It's like a constant cycle. And you mentioned back to school. At some point, smarter people in the elected positions, in leadership positions of organizations, education, law enforcement, public safety, have to say and send a message that says, no, we're not doing this anymore. This is nuts. And I understand that involves restrictions. But as we live now, there are already restrictions in many different ways. Taking a loaded gun in a plane, for example. TSA checks at airport security stations. There's already checks. You can't have a bazooka in your neighborhood. You can't fire a bazooka down your street just because you want to. There are already restrictions. I know that's an extreme example. But at some point, we as a society have to decide, simply put, we're better than this. And right now, we're not better than anybody, basically, on this issue. And I refuse, and you can disagree, 855-616-1620, to accept that. Because we are better than, we should be better than this. And we're not. You want to be the most outstanding leader?
You want to make America great again?
You want to really make America great again? Get rid of school shootings as much as you can. beyond thoughts and prayers, which is, big fan of thoughts and prayers, but when you put that out in a tweet or a post, I'm at the point now where, what else you got for me? That's the easy one. You said the words. Where's the actions that back up the words? For faith leaders, elected leaders, leaders of organizations, this is the moment, another moment after many, many dozens, probably hundreds of moments where you had a chance to be a leader. What you going to do with that information? School shooting, Minneapolis. We'll stay on that story. Connie will update us at the bottom of the hour. Also, latest from ABC. We're talking about leadership after the break because I think it sort of plays into this story. She's Kristin. I'm Steve. Point taken on 620 WTMJ.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Trees on the Move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact Annex Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at annexwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi from Milwaukee Weight Loss. Just talked to my folks at Milwaukee Weight Loss, going back into the reduction phase to lose the final 10 pounds. That'll start pretty soon, and I'll tell you all about it. I've been in the maintenance phase for months now and have kept the weight off. So for those of you who are saying, oh, this is a yo-yo thing or a tricky thing, no. It's doctor-developed, natural, safe, no drugs, no injections, none of that stuff, the gimmicky stuff, the meals bar shakes. You just use your willpower. You control what you eat, you reset your metabolism, and the weight comes off and stays off. A lot of people lose 10 to 20 pounds in just 8 weeks, and in the maintenance phase, they keep that weight off. You want to stop the yo-yo stuff, take control, smarter, faster, safer way to reach your goals, maybe for a wedding or a reunion, big trip. Milwaukee Weight Loss, they're a great team. Their coaches are amazing. Schedule your free consultation today. Free. 262-393-2334. That's 262-393-2334. MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com.
It's Gina Della. You've heard me define what makes Pella Windows and Doors different. Let me introduce you to the woman behind the billboards, commercials, and share my extraordinary journey of resilience, reinvention, and shattering glass ceilings every Saturday morning at 6:30 on 620 WTMJ and anywhere you stream podcasts for What's the Difference with Gina Della to discuss business coaching across all industries, featuring successful executives, entrepreneurs, and mentors along the way. This is a story you won't want to miss.
Steve and Kristin on Point taken on this Wednesday edition. We are monitoring the latest from Minneapolis, a Catholic school and a church. According to CNN, the suspected shooter is dead. Lots of different reports on the numbers of dead and injured. We'll monitor that situation. We'll certainly carry press conferences live if they give us some new information.
Poor Minnesota.
Yeah, they had the shooting of their elected leadership. Well, here's a text. It's an interesting long text, but I'm going to read it, 414, because I can't do the show and ignore what's like right in front of our face, because every monitor, every network's covering this story. It's a sad day for all educators and all Americans with that school shooting. As a retired educator, the training that we had to go through for active shooters, I was lucky to be at Oak Creek. They have some great training there. And the Peaceful Warrior training, I had those folks on the program a couple of years ago. I took that with me, and I take it to restaurants, to malls, wherever I am, and I know what to do. And it's the saddest thing. We have to educate our students what to do, but unfortunately, it's become an educational reality. We don't sign up for it. We had to do it. It's time for our leaders, absolutely. But it's also a scary time because there's no answer. We put in mental health education in the schools, to a degree, I would say. We have put barriers in, to a degree, I would say. It boils down to a bad person is going to be a bad person, and they're going to get in no matter what. They're going to do weird stuff to have us evacuate schools, and that's you. I'm sure
your point of entry of them when you're sitting duck out on the playground.
I don't know what the answer is except bonding people together, not accepting it. I just wish there was an answer, but there's not. I don't give it to the no answer thing. Look, I own guns. I respect the Second Amendment. I believe with those rights come responsibilities, and I would say out loud on the radio today, we have to restrict some of the access to these guns. And I know that's scary for some people. And nothing's perfect. There will still be shootings, even if you did that. But there's so many ways that my party, not just Republicans, but conservatives, probably even some Democrats out there, have not looked at this issue seriously, or they've paid lip service to it. There has to be a coming together politically, ideologically, that says this is not acceptable. And until we are ready to make that argument and defend it against which will be strong opposition and do real things, red flag laws, limiting the access to firearms.
Even just a license.
What's that?
Like a license. I still don't understand why there's such
training.
But just, I mean, we have to have a driver's license.
Yes.
And so why is it to own a arm, like something that can kill lots of people very quickly?
Well, one's a constitutional argument, one's
I
licensing.
understand that, but there's also like when we talk about this all the time when they were trying to defend the 14th Amendment. Oh, they were talking about slaves.
Right.
Well, when they were talking about the Second Amendment, they were talking about muskets that you had to manually reload. So things change, and so I just don't buy that argument as far as like for the sake of the collective public safety that we can't evolve on this. And I'm not saying people can't have guns. I'm just saying as far as being ensuring that people are responsible gun owners.
Yeah, training. And some of the texter talked about mental health. We're not even doing close to what we should be doing on that issue. We talked about the disconnection that young males have and how that drives them. We don't know anything about the shooter yet, so I'm not going to say that it's a young man, but I don't know. But we have to understand what's driving this and then start looking at the root causes, whether that's their upbringing, the training that's required, mental health, certainly part of this, but not exclusively. There's a lot going on here. And I don't want to give it like just a quick mention because it's something that obviously we should be paying attention to. We'll have the latest updates from ABC and our local news here on 620 WTMJ. From the text line quickly, we have numerous gun laws in the books that are not enforced. Enforcement's part of the issue as well. Red flag laws that are pulled back after the legislature. One legislature puts them in, the next one leans the other way. They pull them back, willy-nilly changing the rules and laws of gun ownership, who can have them, access to guns. Gun companies should be more responsible, my opinion. All of these things are part of the story. It's not a simple one. It's a complex one. The simple thing is it should not happen to the degree it happens. That's the simple part of this. The hard part is figuring that out.
How to solve it.
CNN reporting the suspected shooter is dead. As I said, we'll wait for a press conference or confirmation on the number of killed and injured. Eric Bilstead joins us in studio.
Steve, we expect a news conference from police at 10:30, so we will monitor and make sure to bring that to you as soon as it begins.
Thank you, Eric Bilstead, and we will have the latest on that. We'll make sure we get out on time for that. I'll say this. I mentioned we were talking about leadership. We were
going to talk about the new poll that says Americans say the U.S. is in a leadership crisis.
Here's my leadership training 101 as someone who lived through one of these things. It's not about you. And I learned this from a very smart person, Larry Haskin was our city attorney at the time, because we sat in a trailer, a command center at the cross street from the shooting at the Sikh temple. And he literally wrote down, we worked together on what I was going to say. And he gave me this advice, and I heeded that advice. Keep it short. Maybe 90 seconds. It's going out over the world. I had friends in Italy that saw it live as I said the words in Oak Creek. These types of situations are not about you. It's not about posing. It's not about showing how smart you are, all the training you had. It's about you telling people two things. One, is it contained? Are you safe? Community safe? Or any actually factual information you have that can sort of fill in the gaps. That's your job. It's not to speculate. It's not to do other stupid things. And it's certainly not to wear cowboy hats at a press conference, to go back to some of the things I've seen in the last few years. Shootings should not be happening at the rate they're happening in this country. We're never going to solve it completely because even countries that have no firearms access have shootings. But this stuff should not happen to the degree that it happens in our country. I don't care what the Constitution says. The Constitution is malleable. It always has been. Look at the history and how we treated people in 1860 and how we treat them now by the law's definition, by the Constitution. Things change, and how we react to those changes, how we sort of reshuffle the cards of government and leadership are important. That's what leadership is. It's not about posing. We'll take a quick break here. Kristin, Steve on Point Taken on 620 WTMJ.
Hey, if you've not experienced the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club, please do so this week. WTMJ's John Mercure. Friday, the all-you-can-eat haddock fish fry is one of the best, especially with an old-fashioned or an ice-cold beer. This Saturday only, enjoy a chicken chipotle Alfredo pasta dinner with your choice of super salad and homemade bread with that honey cinnamon butter for just $46.99, and that's for two dinners. That's for two. Unwind with a cocktail in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. The Fox and Hounds, just off Highway 167, 2 miles east of the Holy Hill Shrine. The summer drive is absolutely beautiful. This Saturday only, enjoy 2 chicken Alfredo pasta dinners for under $47. Dinner starts at 3. Arrive early. Desserts are also buy one, get one free. Then they are fantastic. The strawberry sham tort is amazing. My wife loves that. All other dinners, buy one, get one free every night. Call and reserve today. It's a super special place. foxandhoundsrestaurant.com.
Your first night camping alone. The new tent, fully set up. Your bug spray, barely keeping up. But you got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with free overdraft protection transfers. So when you bought all those supplies and lost track of your spending, we had you covered. You got this with free overdraft protection transfers from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Point taken, Kristin and Steve on this Wednesday. Sad story out of Minneapolis. A school shooting, Annunciation, I believe is the school. It's K through 8. Conflicting reports. There was the mass was going to happen. There was school drop-off happening, and from what my understanding, reading the stories that I'm reading online and looking at the monitors, the shooter is, they said contained, but I believe the shooter is dead. Eric, is that the same thing you're hearing?
The Minneapolis Star-Tribune is reporting that 2 children were killed in the shooting. They also say the gunman is also dead. Don't know the age of the gunman, but that the shooter is
or
also
even the gender
contained.
either.
Right, yes.
Yeah,
correct.
Lots of texts on this. And I'm going to read a couple because I think these are one of those moments that sort of focus me. Not that I'm unfocused at the rest of the time, but it sort of focuses me on what I think some of our missed priorities are and the things we sort of just we let cycle through and we don't pay enough attention to them. And you and I have talked about this issue many times on just the short version of we've had of this show and other shows. From Jim, the shootings will never end. Why? There are roughly 400 million civilian-owned guns in the United States. That number is beyond comprehension. It's like standing in a field of dandelions that have already gone to seed and they're trying to stop every white flower from blowing away in the wind. Once they're out there, you can't control where they go. I mean, it's a sad statement. I know some people celebrate it. There are more guns than people in this country. Think about that for a second. There's, 350 million people?
Which is wild also because you think about how many people don't own guns.
Yeah.
And so then how many people own lots of guns.
And we saw it a little bit in Michigan. We've seen it a little bit in some other states where courts and the law has started to go after the people that supplied the guns, including the parents of the Michigan
Well, it's
school
happening
shooter.
in Abundant Life.
In Wisconsin. Yeah. So I think that's sort of changing. People always ask me when I do events, and I did one a couple of weeks ago, like, what do we do about it? I go, well, our understanding of what this means has to change. It's not just life as usual in a country that has sort of unlimited guns in the hands of citizens because of the Second Amendment. It's not that. It's about what defines us as a civil society. Is it allowing these things to happen and just throwing up our hands and saying price of freedom? No, that's not my answer. Any problem we faced, and I'll use a sort of a weird analogy, but we had people hijacking planes in the 70s. changed the way we do business when it comes to air travel. We actually established security.
Same with the plane crashes in the 90s, right?
Absolutely. It changed the way we did things. Now, I understand that Second Amendment is a constitutionally guaranteed right. I understand. It's a very short little amendment, too, that's been interpreted, as are all of the pieces of the Constitution, because everyone says that's what it says. No, never that clear. Otherwise, we wouldn't have lawyers, we wouldn't have courts. It's always interpretation. And at some point, my hope is that leadership, elected leadership specifically, understand that the public is not happy with the current status quo. Now, I'm not saying that's universal, because there are certainly people that think gun rights are unrestricted and they should be able to do whatever the hell they want.
Carry everywhere you go.
Yeah. No training,
that stops a bad guy with
no
the gun
laws.
is a good guy with the gun.
You know, you see the tough guys with the tactical vest they buy online, and they walk around in areas that scare people because they feel better about themselves. Usually white men for some strange reason. Like, what are you doing? Like, how does that get you off? You know, what are you doing there? We already have a country that's panicked about these things. We're going to play these games. We will keep you posted and updated on all of the developing news from Minneapolis. It's going to be a different show, and I can tell you that right now because we had some sort of fun stuff planned. We'll try to do some of that later. I don't know if we'll get to it or not. It's going to be
We can do some of it tomorrow.
Kristin and I talking about it. There's always another day for that. The latest from Minneapolis. Thanks for all the texts, 855-616-1620. We'll have the latest from Connie Weber and Eric Bilstead. We'll jump in when possible. Here's now the latest on the shooting from ABC.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Officials in Minneapolis are about to hold a news conference any minute about the shooting at Annunciation Catholic School. We know that at least 2 people were killed and a dozen others taken to local hospitals. The gunman dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound as well. Bailey Hurley with our affiliate KSTP in Minneapolis is on the scene.
The emotions, I've never quite felt anything so heavy, just in the air. It's chaotic, it's heavy. The folks here, everybody who's on the street, who are just watching, who live in this neighborhood, truly simply cannot believe that this is going on.
ABC's Karen Travers has President Trump's reaction.
He has been fully briefed on what he calls the tragic shooting in Minneapolis. The president writes that the FBI quickly responded and is on the scene, and he says that the White House will continue to monitor this terrible situation.
This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time 1031. I'm Connie Weber. We are standing by for that news conference out of Minneapolis. We will take you there live when that happens. In other news, granting a change of venue in the Lily Peters murder trial. Now 17-year-old Carson Petersberger is being charged as an adult of the death and sexual assault of 10-year-old Lily Peters of Chippewa Falls. Peters was found dead near a walking trail in April of 2022 after not coming home from a bike ride. Petersberger was 14 at the time of the murders. His lawyers argued he would not receive a fair trial in Chippewa County after all the publicity and memorials still on display. The judge agreed. Trial date has not been set. Petersberger has pled not guilty to all charges. A former Milwaukee County public defender heading to jail for his role in a prostitution case. Travis Schwantes, 54, was sentenced Tuesday to 45 days behind bars. Prosecutors say Schwantes paid for sex with women, including some he represented in court, and even falsified paperwork to qualify one woman for public defender services. He pleaded guilty last month to a felony for falsifying records and 2 misdemeanors tied to prostitution. 2 other felony counts were dropped as part of a plea deal. A community grocery store and cafe in Milwaukee's River West neighborhood may soon close for good. In an email to members, the River West Co-op has revealed plans to either close up shop or restructure. A special membership meeting is planned for September 10th. The co-op will stay open ahead of that special meeting. Last year, the co-op received a $150,000 capital grant used to help reopen the adjacent cafe. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. Dow is up 125 points, 45,543. NASDAQ up 18, 21,560. S&P 500 is up 9 at 6,475. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. The Ram from I-41 north to I-43, right shoulder, they're blocked due to a broken down vehicle. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Increasing cloudiness today with a chance of an isolated shower tonight, overnight into tomorrow morning. High today 76, overnight low 60. Thursday's high 70. Sunny, cooler Friday with a high up to 66. And a sunny weekend ahead. Saturday's high 70, Sunday 74. 67 in Madison, 63 in Green Bay, 69 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 10:34.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
With all the positive Google reviews continuing to pour in for Richlawn's Tire and Service Centers, we want you to know we appreciate you.
You were due for service, we delivered, and then you went the extra mile and wrote a few kind words about the service you experienced.
Yeah, thank you so much. Michael, Glenn, Jeff, Lisa, Carol, Jason, John,
Wait,
Michelle,
hang on a
Ryan.
second, Dad. As fun as it may be to name every single person who's ever left us a Google review, there just isn't enough time. We get 60 seconds, and I'd say we've got about 28 left.
Ah, good point, Courtney.
Listen, we appreciate every last one of you for helping us maintain a nearly 5-star Google rating. And we're going to keep on shooting for the stars, especially when it comes to providing top-notch auto repair service.
Yep, and remember, be safe, buckle up, and hey, always make sure you've got good tread on your tires. Peter, Bruce, Samantha, Kimberly, Nick, Heather,
Oh,
Marissa,
Dad.
George, Jeremy, Diane, Brad, Paul.
Thanks for staying with us on this Wednesday morning. Kristin, Brey, Steve Scaffidi on Point Taken on WTMJ. We are monitoring the latest from Minneapolis, a school shooting. One hospital saying it's treating 5 children after the shooting at the Catholic school in Minneapolis. Also reports 2 dead. That's the number they're putting out, confirmed by a couple of multiple sources. Shooter is apparently dead. Now, like we always do, always happens when we have situations like this, and unfortunately we have too many of them, in my opinion. Lots of people are weighing in, and I never want to not pay attention to what the audience is telling us. And there's very thoughtful text, and we had one from, I'm going to let you read it because it's Colin from Delafield.
Yeah, and so I thought this was interesting. So, hey, Steve, it's Colin from Delafield. I would have liked to talk through the school shooting issue as it would be easier and more detailed, but I'm sure you'll know what I mean in text. I would say from a high level, it's a difference of hands-on and hands-off parenting. I'm Gen X, which is a medium between old school and new school. As I remember how I was parented and my friends were parented, there was a mix of hands-on, hands-off. I really believe the hands-on method produced better results. Hands-on, asking and checking what you were doing, setting timetables and limits, asking what's going on and meeting the other parents was a must, confirming activities with other parents, etc. This hands-off that I've seen and continue to see lets the kids make their own decisions and activities without much observing them seems to me to be the problem. Take it to where you want, Steve, and very fair. I trust your presentation. It'd be interesting to see what more examples of what he means, because I think a lot of the data shows us that more than ever, the current parents of the helicopter parenting and being so hands-on and so little unstructured play for kids, and so much time online, being alone in your room, and so safety from outside physical, interactions, but kind of free reign in online interactions. And so I'd be interested to know as far as what that means as far as hands-on and hands-off, because everything I feel like I hear about Gen X is they were the latchkey generation.
Yeah, I guess I'm not willing to pile on parents, because there's parents reacting to what's happening in Minneapolis. It's a tough day to be a parent, whether your child was directly impacted by being shot at, or you just go to that school, or you're in that city, or let's be honest, in that country. I appreciate the thoughtful text. And somebody accused me of being lectury on the topic. What do you expect from me? I spent 3 years going around the country talking to law enforcement, public safety organizations. I worked with the Department of Justice. Worked with the White House during my first term in office in Oak Creek. I've talked about it on my various iterations of my show. I'm one person. I'm a guy that has guns, but also believes there should be some limits. Because this sort of fairy tale that we sort of allowed ourselves to live in where there's no rules for anything anymore, how's that working out? I can tell you that the saddest day of my life was when Sandy Hook happened. I could not believe it. I had guys who were the fiercest Second Amendment, because I was on my way to a hunting cabin that weekend. I had guys, fiercest dependents or defenders of the Second Amendment, who were in tears at what they had seen. That's the normal reaction. The abnormal reaction is to say, what are we going to do? You know, it's
another one.
That's stupid. We're going to spend some time, again, talking about leadership today, because we can only do what we can do. I can't single-handedly change the rules, but I can talk about that. I can tell you that when I defend the Second Amendment, which I've done, I also recognize that, you know, having states where no more training for firearm safety, no rules, you can carry a gun anywhere, that's not living in the real world of this United States. It's not. And I think if you have that opinion, I'm sorry, this is one of the byproducts of that. Dangerous times. Ask a parent of a school child how they're feeling right now. You might get a different answer than you and your buds hanging out at your local bar, where a lot of wisdom is shared every day, but as we all know, a lot of the stuff that's talked about is not even close to the reality that most of us live in. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just means not living in the real world. Steve, not being disrespectful, this is from John. I've heard much of the same from you in the last school shooting and the one before that and the ones before that. Until our so-called leaders speak and do even the easiest common sense, I'm actually on your side, John. I'm not saying the opposite. I'm saying what you're saying.
Yeah.
I pray for the families and friends of the victims that will remember this day every single day they wake up to a new day. Absolutely. I'm not saying abandon thoughts and prayers. Of course not. But thoughts and
prayers. But you actually need action in the follow-up.
Otherwise, they're just words, right? You all feel good about yourself for a day. You go to a vigil. You connect as a community. And then all those connections slowly go away. And you're not connecting with people anymore in the community. They're, all of a sudden, they're your enemy based on your social media tweets and posts, right? I'll say to the people that spend all their time being angry, this is a cultural byproduct of that sort of attitude. If you're pissed off about everything every damn day, what do you think results from that? Maybe your kids see that anger. Maybe your kids read your posts because they got smartphones now. Well, my dad says this is what we should be thinking. I'm going to think that way too. And Dad, you and I were talking about this before the show. Men have a role to play here, a significant role. Because I don't know what the numbers are, but more than likely in mass shootings, the shooter is a boy or a man. That's a reality that we as men have to face. It's not absolute, so don't send me a text saying, well, there was a woman. I get it. Nothing is absolute in this world. All right. We have the latest yet? No, we're still waiting for the press conference. We'll bring it to you as soon as we have it. Let's do this. We'll take a break. We'll reset. Obviously, the show's tone has shifted because of what we're going to talk about, now what we are forced to talk about. Not forced, want to talk about. With the latest on the Minneapolis Catholic school shooting in South Minneapolis. Some dead, many injured. Quick break.
It's one of the hottest topics when it comes to finance and your money, the One Big Beautiful Bill. If you haven't read it, we don't blame you. It's 900 pages with 400 just for tax provisions. Not exactly light reading. You know who has read it? Annex Wealth Management. That's where Instant Insight webinars come in. They're designed to provide clarity for today's hot topics. Get up to speed fast. Check out the full Instant Insight schedule at annexwealth.com/events. Unbiased advice from a fee-only fiduciary. Find out more at annexwealth.com.
Hey, John Mercure here for CertaPro Painters. They painted our house, the outside of the house, fantastic. They did the parts in the sun, the parts in the shade, the parts on the north side, the parts on the south side. They paid attention to detail the whole way. They went the extra mile all day long. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C for your home or your business. They do both. They pay a lot of attention. They took a lot of time with our house, and it looks absolutely perfect. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They're the real deal. They're the best in the business. It's CertaPro Painters.
It's the Oak Creek Lions Fest Friday through Labor Day, and this year's lineup is rockin' with 3 live music venues, family fun, games, carnival rides, the Oak Creek Lions Big Money $8,000 cash raffle, helicopter rides, and live local band favorites jamming every day. Featuring great food with Friday's fish fry, Saturday's famous steak sandwiches, along with their ever-popular pork and beef sandwiches on Sunday and Monday. All 3 stages will be playing great hits with the hottest in local live music from American Graffiti, Bella Kane, Third Coast Blues Collective, Florit, The Toys, The Blues Disciples, Line Dance, 33 RPM, and Reverend Raven and Westside Andy with the Chain-Smokin' Altar Boys, along with many other great bands. Don't miss the 2025 Oak Creek Lions Fest, 2 miles east of I-94 and 3 blocks north of Ryan Road at 9327 South Shepherd Avenue. Free admission, free parking. Friday through Labor Day, it's Oak Creek Lions Fest. Find out more at oakcreeklions.com. oakcreeklions.com.
Being present and in the moment for family activities was impossible because Will Burt was so focused on the constant pain in his leg.
My wife likes to take walks. I always kind of dreaded going on walks because they hurt. The boys both play baseball. I coach their teams. I was going to do them and be in pain and be uncomfortable and kind of sacrifice my own health.
An old Achilles injury left Will coping with agonizing pain until he discovered the natural biologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No surgery or steroids. The procedure took place in the office, and Will walked right out.
I feel great. There's no pain. There's no tenderness.
Patients like Will are feeling amazing and living their best lives.
Ironically, just got off the golf course today, so I think that's a good telltale sign that the Achilles is feeling better.
Don't be in pain another day. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation. Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com.
Point taken on 620 WTMJ. Kristin and Steve on this Wednesday. Obviously, monitoring the situation from Minneapolis, a shooting at a K-8 Catholic school. The numbers we'll get in the presser that's going to happen momentarily. We'll take that live for you as we monitor the situation. You and I were, before this happened, we were going to talk about leadership today.
Yeah, so I saw this interesting poll. I guess it's not surprising, but at least it has some hard numbers behind it. But there was a new poll, and Americans say the U.S. is in a leadership crisis. So Americans are largely disappointed in leaders across public service, business, education, and healthcare. And it was just some interesting statistics as far as in this poll that was by, who conducted the poll? The Harris poll in conjunction with the U.S. News 2025 Best Leaders in America. And probably not surprisingly, the group that gets the lowest marks on, I guess, trust, confidence in their leadership ability is, well, it was grouped into public officials.
Public officials, government officials,
but
community leaders.
I think largely we're talking about elected public officials.
And it wasn't unique to that. The numbers for healthcare leaders, business leaders, they're all like 70, 60%. I mean, they all suck.
And so I think this one is a clue into the trend of distrusting systems in general, as we don't trust universities, as we don't trust healthcare professionals, as we don't trust any kind of bigger systems that may tell you conflicting facts from what you want to believe or what you've been told because of just the influx of information. But I also just wonder, I mean, especially when it goes, because I've talked about this a fair amount, is like the sacrifice of being a elected official. And obviously there are upsides. We see how rich people get once they are actually in
at
office.
A certain level, not local
but
leaders.
But the personal sacrifice of your mental health, I'm sure, sometimes your actual safety, your privacy, all of these things that we ask people to potentially put themselves up for. And for a lot of these positions, take a pay cut for, right? If you're a qualified, smart person who could be making a lot more in the private sector, taking a pay cut to be an alderman, a state representative, even potentially a congressman or a senator, depending on what job they have. But then it's just like it's a hard job to have, and the public doesn't treat you very well. So I think it sometimes attracts people who are so power hungry or know the opportunistic side of it that a lot of really good people who would make good leaders are like, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate time to be someone who represents, because most people do not trust you going in. Even if you do things they like, they still don't trust you. And
especially depending on what letter you have after your name.
Exactly, yeah. And so much of this is dictated by what happens in Washington, D.C., which I always remind people, that's sort of the show part of this argument. It matters, of course. There's policy stuff that is driven out of Washington, D.C. and our Supreme Court. But so much of the local stuff, the state stuff, has more direct impact on your lives. We can have states do things when it comes to public safety, gun laws. There's plenty of states that have gun laws. I'll predict the future for you as we go to break. Expect to see or hear something from the White House in the next few days about this president talking about that city, Minneapolis, and the use of National Guard troops. I can tell you that right now.
You think he'll send National Guard troops
to Minneapolis? I'm not saying he's going to talk about it. The reaction in Minneapolis would be interesting because that's, obviously George Floyd.
Well, it's a blue city and a blue governor.
Tim Walz. And I'm pretty sure the relationship with Tim Walz and Donald Trump is not a good one.
No.
Expect to hear that. He'll give it a day or two. Expect to hear that. I'll predict the future for you. We'll take a break here. We're obviously monitoring the situation in Minneapolis. The school shooter is dead. And I love the fact that parents of, including one texter who just dropped her kids off at school, are weighing in. We'll welcome those texts, 855-616-1620. Sort of a different show today, responding in this case to another school shooting in a country that has had far too many school shootings and shootings of the mass variety over the last few decades. So we'll continue on that story. Kristin and Steve, point taken on 620 WTMJ.
All different types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Jeff Zergabel of Pasternak and Zergabel. Frank Pasternak and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Get the help you need Saturday morning with How To Radio. At 7, it's the WTMJ Fix-It Show with David Nason, featuring this week's guest, Trees on the Move. At 9, plan your dream vacation with the Fox World Travel Show. And at 10, get financial guidance during Money Talk. Contact NX Wealth Management for an unbiased review of your investments at nxwealth.com. How To Radio, Saturday mornings on WTMJ.
Now that you're ready to purchase a new bike, do yourself a solid by stopping by one of our Wheel and Sprocket stores to test ride an electric bike, better known today as an e-bike. And let me tell you, these bikes are a game changer because you can ride a whole lot further without even breaking a sweat. We're talking 20 to 50 miles on a single charge. So even riding uphill comes with tons of thrills. But before you decide, stop by any of our Wheel and Sprocket locations first and let us explain in detail what e-bikes are all about. And once you're here, you'll find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride. After all, here at Wheel and Sprocket, we love bikes, which is why bikes are all we do.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
I'm Amelia Kegel with Wheel and Sprocket. Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Matt LePay for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Since 1934, Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress destination for quality, selection, and service. For over 90 years, Steinhoffels has helped Wisconsinites create the homes of their dreams and is 100% employee-owned. Steinhoffels has the largest selection of all the latest styles and all the best mattress brands. You'll find something for every style and every budget. Shop in-store or online at steinhoffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhoffels.
The famous Fox and Hound Supper Club is hiring qualified kitchen expediters, ensuring food quality is at the highest standards. You'll make real money working nights and weekends. Inquire today and start next week. Contact the famous Fox and Hounds today.
We get it. You're on the go, and life gets in the way. Stay up to date on all things WTMJ with podcasts of every show, Available on WTMJ.com. And don't forget you can stream WTMJ online and watch your favorite WTMJ shows on YouTube. Every show, when you want it, no matter where you are. We are Wisconsin's radio station, News Radio 620 WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Stephen Kristin on point taken on 620 WTMJ, monitoring the latest from Minneapolis school shooting, Catholic school, K through 8s. Shooter is dead. We're awaiting a press conference. It sounds like it may start at the top of the hour, but as you know, these things are fluid. Thanks for all of the texts this hour. We'll stay on the story, 855-616-1620, if you want to share your thoughts. And everybody always has thoughts on days like this, Kristin. We got some nice comments from a mom who had just dropped her children off at school. And that's a hard thing, especially when you drop your kids off and then you're greeted with this on your radio. Tough thing for parents. No easy solutions. Is always going to be a challenging time. So we'll await the start of that press conference. Eric?
Yeah, so we just got the 1-minute warning, so we anticipate that this could happen at any moment now. This news conference originally was scheduled for 10:30. It's been pushed back a couple of times. Obviously, you can understand the number of people involved in this as far as the agencies and that type of thing. So that this is at Annunciation Catholic School on the southern portion of Minneapolis. We have a deadly school shooting there. We do know that the shooter, according to the Minneapolis Star-Tribune, is dead. We've heard different numbers as far as casualties go, so we'll just let them tell us here in a few moments.
There are no words that can capture
we'll go there live
the horror
right now.
And the evil of this unspeakable act. Children are dead. There are families that have a deceased child. You cannot put into words the gravity, the tragedy, or the absolute pain of this situation. We are a Minneapolis family. But to everybody out there, do not think of these as just somebody else's kids. Those families are suffering immense pain right now. Think of this as if it were your own. Every one of us needs to be wrapping our arms around these families, giving them every ounce that we can muster. These were Minneapolis families. These were American families. And the amount of pain that they are suffering right now is extraordinary. And don't just say this is about thoughts and prayers right now. These kids were literally praying. It was the first week of school. They were in a church. These are kids that should be learning with their friends. They should be playing on the playground. They should be able to go to school or church in peace without the fear or risk of violence, and their parents should have the same kind of assurance. These are the sort of basic assurances that every family should have, every step of the day, regardless of where they are in our country. I'm so deeply saddened, and I'm so sorry to the families that I know are suffering right now. My ask is to everyone, stand by them. Love them. These families have forever been changed, and we've all been changed with them. We need to do everything possible to support them through this time. We have a family resource center that has been set up. I'm grateful for all of the law enforcement agencies from a number of different jurisdictions and all the different departmental support that we've received. They're going to be working tirelessly. There's also a family resource center that is being set up as we speak to make sure that we're there for everybody. Again, to the families that are suffering, to those that have experienced loss, I'm so deeply sorry. We're going to be with you every step of the way. We love you. This kind of act of evil should never happen, and it happens far too often. The chief will provide additional details.
My name is Brian O'Hara, B-R-I-A-N, O''Hara.
I am the Minneapolis Police Chief. Earlier today, just before 8:30 a.m., our city experienced an unthinkable tragedy. Minneapolis police officers responded to a report of a shooting at a mass that was happening at the Annunciation Roman Catholic Church on the block behind me. This worship service was marking the first week of school for children that are attending the Annunciation Catholic School. During the Mass, a gunman approached on the outside on the side of the building and began firing a rifle through the church windows towards the children sitting in the pews at the Mass. Shooting through the windows, he struck children and worshipers that were inside the building. The shooter was armed with a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol. This was a deliberate act of violence against innocent children and other people worshiping. The sheer cruelty and cowardice of firing into a church full of children is absolutely incomprehensible. Police officers from the Minneapolis Police Department immediately responded, entered the church, and attempted to provide first aid and rescue some of the children that were hiding throughout the building, while other first responders came and EMS responded to rush victims to nearby hospitals. 2 young children, ages 8 and 10, were killed where they sat in the pews. Their parents have been notified. 17 other people were injured, 14 of them being children. 2 of those children are in critical condition. The coward who fired these shots ultimately took his own life in the rear of the church. Our hearts are broken for the families who have lost their children, for these young lives that are now fighting to recover, and for our entire community that has been so deeply traumatized by this senseless attack. We will stand together to protect our children, our schools, and our houses of worship. This deliberate act of violence is just a sign of cruelty that is beyond comprehension. Our hearts are broken for everyone that's been affected by this tragedy. As we begin the difficult path of healing, I want the community to know this, that even in the face of such evil, the Minneapolis Police Department and all of our law enforcement partners stand with our community. We stand with these families and with this parish. We will continue to be here for you. With that, the investigation is obviously in its preliminary stages, and I will attempt to take some questions to provide further information.
We're listening to a live news conference out of Minneapolis. A deadly school shooting. 2 children are dead. Police Chief Brian O'Hara from Minneapolis.
So we were looking, the question was, what can be said about the shooter? We believe it is one suspect, a sole shooter. We believe he is deceased. He is in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history, and we are looking through information left behind to try and determine some type of motive. Yeah.
How many kids at the school? How many kids at the school?
How many children? There were, I don't have an exact, the question was how many children at the school. There were dozens of children inside the Mass at the time. I don't have an exact count. The children have been relocated into the school, which is where their families are reunifying with them.
Do we know if the shooter,
Reg.
Other than the weapons, was the shooter a student, former student? Was he a former employee? Do we know that?
The question was, do we know if the shooter was a former school employee or a former student? We don't have that information.
Did he leave anything behind other than the weapon?
There's a vehicle. The question was anything left behind? There's a vehicle that we believe that the suspect used that is being searched, and we will be conducting other searches related to this. Inside the parking lot here.
There was some neighbors who said that the door to the church had been barricaded.
Yep. So the question was, neighbors had said that the door to the church had been barricaded. The shooter approached on one side of the church building, and on that side, at least two doors, it appears there had been like a 2x4 placed. So not all of the doors around the building, but on the side where the shooter did fire.
And on the outside.
On the outside, yes.
Were there any explosives that were found?
The question was there any explosives? There were reports of that. There were no explosives or improvised devices that we found. I do believe there was one, I guess you would call it a smoke bomb, like not an explosive, but a sort of a firework that would release smoke.
And which side of the building? North, south?
The side that is closest to us, here, on this side, yep.
Was this incident related also at these nearby homes?
I don't have specific information on that I can release. The question was, is he dead from a gunshot wound? The answer is yes. We believe he took his own life in the parking lot.
Was this outside or both inside that he was shooting?
The question was he shooting outside and inside? He was absolutely shooting outside of the building on the side of the church, inside through the windows. It appears he may have gone inside, but I don't believe we've located any casings inside the building. So I'm not certain if he fired also while inside. It appears, if not all, most of the shooting happened outside the building.
Chief, is this shooting related to any other shootings that happened in the last 24 hours?
Yeah, Taylor's asking, is this related to any of the other shootings? This does not appear to be related to any other shooting in the city.
Do you know approximately how many rounds were fired?
The question was how many rounds? I would say it's in the dozens. We don't have an exact count. There's a sidewalk on the outside as well as a grassy area, so obviously we are going through and taking our time to process the scene.
Was he firing just one weapon, like the rifle?
The question was he firing one weapon? We believe he had fired all three. He had a rifle, a shotgun, and a pistol.
Chief, was this individual licensed to conceal and carry? Did he have any?
Were the weapons, was he lawfully carrying the weapons? I don't have that information, and I don't have any information on any significant criminal history either.
Was he dressed at all in any tactical type of gear or anything?
It appeared he had some black clothing on, his cargo-type pants. I guess you could interpret that as, however you like.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for
You're listening to News Radio WTMJ, where we just got the latest from Minneapolis. That was the police chief, Brian O'Hara, there speaking. Here's what we have at Annunciation Church. This is also a school. The chief says that a gunman opened fire. He was armed with multiple firearms, opened fire outside the church into the windows of the church, striking several children. An 8-year-old and a 10-year-old were killed in that shooting. 14 other were injured. 2 remain in critical condition, and 3 other adults were also injured. That gunman then turned the gun on himself. He's in his mid-20s. That's all they know. At least that's all they are releasing at this time. We will be all over the story throughout the day, of course, right here on WTMJ. WTMJ News Time is 11:07.
Welcome to our Everyday Health feature, sponsored by the Freightert and the Medical College of Wisconsin Health Network. Your blood vessels play a key role in keeping you healthy, also known as your vascular health. Unfortunately, problems with these vessels affect millions of Americans every year across all age groups. Here to tell us more about the importance of vascular health is Momodou Jama, a Freightert and the Medical College of Wisconsin vascular surgeon. Doctor, thank you so much for being here with us.
You're welcome.
Can you tell us about how vascular health impacts the entire body?
Your vascular system, the network of arteries, veins, and capillaries in your body, is essentially your transportation system for moving blood around your body. When these vessels are healthy, they efficiently deliver oxygen, nutrients, and immune cells to every organ and tissue.
Doctor, can you please share the risk factors for vascular disease?
The most common risk factors include diabetes, smoking, a family history of aneurysms or clotting disorders, high blood pressure or high cholesterol, a high-stress lifestyle, obesity, and then age greater than 50, all important risk factors. If you have risk factors, talk to your doctor about vascular disease screening options.
Can you please tell us what screening options are available?
In general, a physical exam of your vasculature or non-invasive testing involving blood pressure checks in the arms and legs is adequate to identify certain vascular diseases. Screening with a one-time ultrasound is recommended for men and women over the age of 65 or older with a history of tobacco use. Talk to your doctor to learn about what screening options you may benefit from.
Why should someone choose the Freighter in the Medical College of Wisconsin for their vascular services?
We have a team of specialists dedicated to treating vascular diseases, including vascular medicine specialists, vascular and cardiac surgeons, as well as interventional radiologists that provide care in eastern Wisconsin.
Dr. Shema, thank you for being with us today. For more information on vascular health, check out freightert.com/vascular.
Accunet Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368.
Patrick and Monica initially chose a bank to get pre-approved and provide financing for the purchase of their first home. But they were getting a bad feeling when a week after their offer was accepted, the bank still hadn't locked in their rate, nor had the appraisal been ordered. Monica shared her concerns with a friend who happened to be a multi-time Accunet client. That led to Monica connecting with one of our senior loan consultants the same day, and after gathering some information and reviewing options, we locked in their rate right then and there with loan costs $3,600 lower than what the bank had quoted. The appraisal was ordered right away too, and the loan closed on time just 3 weeks later. We also noticed an oversight in the contract that led to a $3,000 credit from the seller. You can get a generic pre-approval and average or worse service from a bank, or you can get the kind of fast service, advice, attention to detail, and savings that made Monica and Patrick Accunet's latest raving fans. All you got to do to get started is click on the blue button at Accunet.com. That's ACCUNET.com.
Steve and Kristin on this sad Wednesday edition of The Point Taken as we discuss another in a series of...
How many times have you had to do this on air?
Oh, God, probably dozens now over my almost 10 years.
Because I lost it when the news broke right before the show in December in the Madison shooting.
Yeah.
Because that's where I grew up. I didn't go to that school, but that's where I grew up. And I was on with Vince and Eric back in 2022 when Uvalde happened.
Yeah.
And it's just and countless times since then. I've only been doing radio since 2022.
Yeah.
And the fact of how many times I've had to get on air and keep my wits about me.
Yeah, and none of us are even comfortable talking about. There's a lot of emotion, obviously. I was telling Kristin during one of the breaks that this is. I never get nervous, and I try to, even though I get fired up, I can't feel my blood pressure rising. This always raises my blood pressure. At least I can feel it. Just if you're just tuning in and you're not paying attention to the news, which unfortunately is some of you out there, in Minneapolis, I think it's the third day of school at Annunciation K-8 Catholic school in South Minneapolis. Gunman, who we now know, according to the Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara, took his own life as the coward that he is, armed with a rifle, shotgun, and pistol, barricaded the doors of the church with 2x4s. He has apparently killed 2 people, 14 children injured. We don't know what the
2 are in critical condition.
2 in critical condition. 3 adults also at the hospital. Fired through church windows, striking children and people just went to Mass, because if I'm a Catholic school guy, we had Mass every day. People just, not just students and faculty, parents and parishioners, they just show up for church. This is what they're greeted with this morning. Unbelievable text from all of you. Keep that coming, 855-616-1620. And I talked about leadership, and Eric and Kristin and I were talking about the leadership on full display, by the way, by the Minneapolis Police Chief. And as you and I were talking during the break, tell us what happened. Tell us what you know. Don't speculate. As many details as you're comfortable releasing that you can release, and then that's it. And I thought the police chief, Brian O'Hara, did a fantastic job just telling us what we needed to know. As a parent of 2 daughters, now adults who have, my 4 grandchildren, I absolutely hate the fact that this is something that they have to deal with. It's just mind-blowing to me that we have to put up with this nonsense, this BS, every day in this country because we can't figure it out. Air quoting, can't figure it out. But we can figure it out. Obviously, security is important. Public safety is critically important in a country that has a lot of freedoms and a lot of rights guaranteed to us by the Constitution. But as I often say, and it's not my thought, it's someone way smarter than me, with rights come responsibilities. And we have failed miserably on that front. We don't do what we're supposed to do. And when a parent There's a trust that parents have, right? You know, you're a parent. Yeah. When you send your kid off, you trust that their environment, whether that's a preschool, pre-K, kindergarten class, elementary school, high school, God, university level now, because we're still seeing shootings at university, that you are entrusting them with the health and safety of your child, or in the case of a university, your young adult. We're betraying that trust by allowing these things to continue to happen. We'll take another quick break. Got to catch up on breaks. That's the sort of the reality of doing live radio. We can hear, as a texter said, they can hear our emotion. I can hear the emotion in your text. We're going to read some of those texts. Yeah. We're going to respond to what you say, and I'm going to talk about leadership, because that is part of the problem when we talk about how and where we go next. That's a big part of this story. Well, the latest on the shooting, if there's any additional updates, we'll certainly provide those at the bottom of the hour and the top of the hour, because that's what we do here at a news station, a real news station, 620 WTMJ. Kristin and Steve, point taken. Wednesday edition.
When it rains, it pours. But sometimes it hails. Or worse.
That tornado warning again is for Fond du Lac and Dodge County. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect right now.
Keep us within reach for Fleet Farm Storm Team alerts.
Even if a tornado does not touch down, we know that there are powerful straight line winds.
On 620 WTMJ and WTMJ.com.
Hey, this is WTMJ, Steve Scaffidi for Advent. Snoring issues, tossing and turning, restless nights of sleep. That can lead to tired mornings, and you shouldn't have to accept that. I went to Advent years ago now, 30-minute visit. They put me at ease. They put a really simple sleep study together at home in my own bed. They determined my problem, sinuses and nasal passage in my breathing triangle. After a short procedure done in office, I'm back to breathing well, sleeping through the whole night for myself and my wife. If you struggle like I used to, take the time to see how Advent can help you to find out breathing well and sleeping well, how that can make your nights better. Go to adventknows.com and schedule an appointment today, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Hi, I'm Rose Gray with Fox World Travel, and if Alaska is on your must-see list next summer, don't wait too long. Our exclusive guided Alaska land and sea journeys with Holland America are filling up fast. We send hundreds of travelers from Wisconsin on these most sought-after experiences to visit Alaska. Interested in a shorter Inside Passage cruise? Ask about a 7-night Princess cruise. Don't just picture Alaska, live it. Alaska is more popular than ever and booking fast. Visit Fox World Travel online or call 866-GO-FOX-GO.
Well, it was interesting because there was also shootings last night. There's multiple shootings that have happened in Minneapolis and that we were less aware of, at least I was less aware of. And it kind of raises the question also as far as the visceral reaction we have to school shootings, church shootings. Also, you know what happened in Buffalo when it was a shopping, the grocery store, right? And why do you think we have that? Is it because of the unexpected nature of it? Is it because we can see it? It could be any of us, and there is no safety that is guaranteed to any of us. Like, what is the visceral reaction that we have when it is a random mass shooting in situations like this versus other gun violence that does also exist and that is in the news all the time?
For me, it's even before Sandy Hook or even before Columbine, it was the one place where you thought your kids were safe. Yeah, they're good. There's measures in place, there's security protocol, all that stuff. And then we find out that's a fallacy, that's fake, even though we spend a lot of money on training and equipment and in some cases metal detectors. It's not safe. And again,
well, that's the thing. That's what gave me chills about this is the fact that he was shooting from outside
through
of the
the
church.
window.
He didn't even go in. Well, from what we know, didn't even go into the building. And the idea that because one of the arguments that's thrown, we need better security at the doors. We need someone in the building that has a gun. And it's like, well, if they can still shoot you through the window, what good does any of that do?
Yeah, that's why this becomes a much more complex problem. And, you know, we started today we wanted to talk about leadership, and we had a lot of other things planned, and I can guarantee that most of the shows today are already meeting and changing their game plan or their roster, because this is a story that requires our attention. When we have, I'm trying to do this so I don't get politics into it, but politics is part of this because we have a fundamental disagreement between liberals and conservatives, Democrats, Republicans on what we do with gun violence. It shouldn't be the case, but that's the reality.
I actually think that there's probably a lot more
shared sentiment.
Yes, I think when this subject gets polled, huge majorities want common sense gun laws. There's not a huge majority that are saying we have to take everyone's guns, we have to do what Australia did, and no one gets a gun anymore. But there's a lot of agreement as far as what more could be done. And as someone texted earlier, like if you are a responsible gun owner and you're one of the good guys, why are you arguing that there should be less laws?
Yeah,
right?
makes
Like
no
as
sense.
far as like is your ability to get licensed, if we ever got like gun insurance or whatever it takes to be a responsible gun owner, if you're one of those people, why would you be fighting like this club that you are part of? Like this gives gun owners a bad name every time this happens.
It stems from an irrational belief that there's going to be some movement to seize all guns. That's where it comes from. That's why you have people stockpiling not just guns but the ammunition. That's a thing now. I hear from even some of my friends do this. Like, what are you doing?
Which is also hilarious. Because we have to protect ourselves from the government.
Yeah.
You really think you're going to survive against the U.S. Army with your AK-47 versus the drone that they have?
So I'm a big fan lately of talking about actions, real actions. So when you see, and you're gonna see a lot of this today. If you're on social media or any sort of public platform, you can see a lot of thoughts and prayers, posts and tweets. Here's what I want you to do. Whoever that person is, whatever their role is, respond to them and say, thanks for that. I think we're all thinking that same way. What are you going to do next? What's your next plan of action to sort of reduce the likelihood these will happen to my grandkids or my kids in school? I think that's a simple thing you can do. Call your elected representative and say, I'm disgusted by what I'm seeing in Minneapolis. I'm disgusted what I saw in Wisconsin. I'm disgusted what I saw at Sandy Hook and Columbine and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas and Uvalde, and I could just go on and on and on because those are all the high-profile cases of mass shootings and school-type situations. I need something more than that. And I think when we let people off the hook and throw up our hands or hide behind a Second Amendment. Second Amendment doesn't say we have the right to brutally kill each other because we're angry about something. They never said anything like that. We have responsibilities to each other to be safe, to protect each other. That's sort of what a community, whether it's small or large, like the United States community, should be doing. From the 262, predictably a quick sample of local and national ultra-conservative media show little or no coverage. That's the other one. If you host a show in this
Really?
market...
Is this not on Fox right now?
I have no idea. That's a local. If you host a show and you're not talking about this in some sort of a what can we do scenario or context, you're wasting our time. If your mission statement today is to argue, and trust me, I've had these things happen. Your argument is the media makes too much out of this. These things that happen every day and shouldn't make a big deal out of it. If that's your argument, you should not be doing what you're doing, and you should have the microphone yanked away from you. You should be escorted out of your building. That's what should happen. It won't happen, but that's what is going to take place in this country. There's going to be folks doing podcasts about it where they'll just say, not enough tough on crime folks. If we were tougher on crime, we wouldn't have these problems. Many of these individuals don't even have criminal records. How's that going to work?
They're minors.
Yeah. How's that going to work? And if you're a parent or enabler, when you know you have a child or a young adult who has issues with violence, struggling with mental health issues, and you go around that problem and you buy them a firearm, you should be held responsible just as much as the shooter. I'm sorry if you don't like that. It's happening in Michigan. It's going to happen over and over again as we sort of evolve, I hope, on this issue. The weird thing about evolution, it's supposed to make you bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. On this one, we go backwards. We go backwards on this one. I'm not sure why that is, other than, again, poor leadership and people looking out for themselves, not each other's. One more before we go to break. Politics literally means policies, so politics does matter. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. Of course it does. Courts are also a big part of this. Supreme Court of the law of the land in the country and in our state.
Literally the interpretation of the Second Amendment.
If I hear one more candidates for Supreme Court say, it's not interpreting, it's the law of the land, shut the hell up. That makes no sense. It's all about interpretation. The words can be interpreted in many different ways. We learned that on such a wide variety of issues, from abortion to guns to name it. The rights of how to vote. All those things are interpreted.
Who's a citizen?
Who's a citizen? We welcome your calls. We welcome your, I don't know if we'll get to calls, but we'll certainly welcome your texts, 855-616-1620. If you have something to say on this issue, I know that you do because we're reading a lot of texts on it. The latest, 2 children killed, 14 children, 3 adults hurt, school shooting, South Minneapolis, a Catholic preschool through 8th grade school that we're celebrating by mass their 3rd day of school. I believe they started on Monday. That's how they get to celebrate. And that's how we as a country have to now think about the going back to school. You want to talk about stress as a motivation for stuff? How about that stress for parents who are in Wisconsin will be sending their kids back to school next week? Glaring problem in our country. Lots more with Point Taken, Kristin and Steve on 620 WTMJ.
The very front of the Brewers front office is on Wisconsin's Morning News.
Such a team effort, just trying to work every at-bat and just to get to the next pitcher. So, yeah, we'll use whatever motivation it takes to beat the other team.
Brewers GM and Senior Vice President Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday morning at 8:45.
Yeah, really good to get that win for not just the team, but for the whole community here to celebrate.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited and Big Fish Contracting.
WTMJ's Steve Scaffidi for Annex Wealth Management. In 2025, markets may ebb and flow, but your retirement plan deserves a steady hand. Annex blends art and science to design a strategy aimed at helping you work towards your retirement goals, adapting to various economic conditions, from maximizing Social Security to exploring Roth conversions or building tax-smart portfolios. Annex guides you through critical decisions with your future as the focus. As a fee-only fiduciary, your goals come first. No commissions, no hidden agendas. Their team of certified financial planners, CFAs, CPAs, PhDs, and attorneys, I worked with all of them, delivers customized solutions for investments, retirement, estate, and tax planning. And Annex has the heart of a teacher with the Instant Insight webinar series. It's a great tool for clients and soon-to-be clients. Your dreams are one of a kind, and Annex respects that with tailored and individual advice. Ready to take charge of your financial future? It's easy to get started. Visit AnnexWealth.com, click on the now famous Get Started button, and begin the conversation in just minutes. Know the difference with a fee-only fiduciary. That's Annex Wealth Management, AnnexWealth.com.
It's there all day, and it never goes away. I hate pain. It robs us of so much. But if you take action today, your pain could be gone tomorrow. Because at Rejuvenex, we harness the power of Toradol and hyaluronic acid to calm the inflammation and cushion joints. Rejuvenex treatments are safe, they're FDA approved, and in most cases, insurance, including Medicare and Medicaid, pays for them. At as low as $65 per injection per joint, our treatments are affordable. It's not a gimmick. It's pharmacological medicine administered in office in a simple and convenient manner. And with it, our patients have been able to avoid risky surgery and begin to stop the onset of arthritis. I'm Rejuvenex founder Richard Salinas, and here we've made pain treatment as easy and affordable as it can be.
Alleviate your pain, rejuvenate your life.
Go to rejuvenex.com to request your free pain evaluation.
Milwaukee baseball was born in the Emerald City, but any ties to the Pacific Northwest were cut loose decades ago. Pella has an interesting history as well. Born in Pella, Iowa, but their century-long history of crafting quality windows and doors there continues to this day. Designed with innovation and rigorously tested for quality and performance, get long-term energy savings and durability that lasts for years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Order by August 31st and get 0% interest for up to 5 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Thank you for joining us on a sort of a somber day here on Point Taken. Any day these things happen are not, it's not even fun to do this type of show, but Kristin and I have done these shows before, either on your show or my show. We've talked about mass shootings, unfortunately, a lot. And I love all the honesty and openness in the text. Somebody said, thank you guys, thank us for being open and honest. But I can't be otherwise on the issue. In many ways, a mass shooting that we dealt with, and I don't want to get into all my stuff because that sort of diffuses it, but understanding the reality for so many people who consume these stories, it happens. They think about it a lot. They talk about it their, whatever the new version of water cooler is, and then they sort of go on to their day, and then it happens again down the road. But for those of us who have sort of lived through this stuff, me as a public official, those who are involved in these shootings, certainly family members and victims' family members, you don't forget about them. They stay with you for the rest of your existence.
Well, and that's what I think. I thought about this as far as even in the flooding that happened here recently, and in the last handful of years, every year there's some kind of tragedy. If now multiple tragedies with fires or floods or hurricanes or earthquakes, and people in other places have their lives totally upended. And if you're a compassionate person, if you're an empathetic person, you feel for it, but it doesn't replace what it actually feels like to have it impact your life or what it brings up if you have gone through something similar, right? And so you can't actually replace that lived experience. And so I have to imagine, as you were saying earlier, that this is the one topic where you can actually feel your blood boil.
Yeah.
And it's because, I'm sure to a certain extent, it's because you're reliving what you had to live through 12 years ago, 13 years ago?
13 years
13
ago.
years, just, yeah.
2012, August 5th, 2012, the morning, about 10 o'clock. We just had this conversation because this was the first year that I didn't do a show that I talked about it. Remember, we were at the State Fair.
It was the first year. Isn't it the first year that you said that it was the first thing you thought of when you woke up?
Exactly. Because every other year between then and now, I'd waken up that day and thinking, because every detail, everything from what happened, the scene, the conversations, the meetings, the no sleep for 2 weeks, the 150 international and national interviews we did, all of that stuff, I can remember all of it. And I can remember that we got death threats in the time after that for some weird reason that people thought we were somehow responsible for it. And that includes me and the police chief at the time, John Edwards, and our city clerk. And so it was a big part of my life, and it changed things for me. So I think I'm not going to perceive this maybe the way that you do, but I understand this is a big story. We'll stay on it throughout the day here on 620 WTMJ. We want to bring you the latest updates, certainly from Connie Weber. We'll have the latest from ABC. We'll stay on it for the rest of our show. Certainly midday probably will as well. These things change us. The question for me is, will they change us in the right direction where we can actually do things to reduce the likelihood? So latest from Connie coming up in a little bit here. Before that, we now go to ABC News.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. In Minneapolis, a community rocked by a mass shooting at Annunciation Catholic School today. At least 2 are dead, 17 others injured. Students pre-K through 8th grade returning for their first week of school. Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara says the gunman began shooting through the windows of the church where children were attending Mass.
We believe it is one suspect, a sole shooter. We believe he is deceased. He is in his early 20s, does not have an extensive known criminal history, and we are looking through information left behind to try and determine some type of motive.
Student Clarissa Garcia inside that church at the Mass.
A teacher laid me downstairs to the preschool classroom, and so I went there.
She's been reunited with her mother. President Trump has been briefed, and a source familiar with the matter says he spoke with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:31. I'm Connie Weber. We'll continue to keep you updated on further developments out of Minneapolis and this morning's school shooting. Keep it right here on WTMJ. In other news, dismissing the lawsuit to stop the construction of Buc-ee's in Oak Creek, a Milwaukee County judge says Oak Creek Neighbors United submitted their lawsuit the same day that they also filed a claim against the construction. So the judge says the double filings went against a state statute and ultimately dismissed the lawsuit. Oak Creek Neighbors United says it will refile a lawsuit against the city of Oak Creek. Governor Tony Evers has submitted a formal request to President Trump for a disaster declaration following historic floods in southeast Wisconsin earlier this month. Request includes Milwaukee, Washington, and Waukesha counties for the Federal Emergency Management Agency's Individual Assistance Program. Governor Evers says initial damage reports collected by the state indicate more than $43 million in public sector damage throughout 6 Wisconsin counties. A UTV crash in Rock County has left 1 man dead, another hurt. Authorities say it happened just after 10 last night along East Vincent Road in the town of Milton. The 49-year-old from Edgerton was taken to the hospital while the passenger, a 62-year-old man from Florida, died at the scene. DNR reports this being the 28th ATV or UTV-related death in Wisconsin so far this year. 20 cases confirmed no helmets or seatbelts were worn. Time for some news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is up 98 points, 45,516. The Nasdaq down a point, 21,000. 21,542. S&P 500 up 7 at 6,473. Financial planning at every level. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Details at annexwealth.com. Taking a look at the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver. Traffic still pretty quiet out there. We do have an incident on the ramp from North James Lovell West Clybourne Street to I-794 West. Here's your WTMJ 5-day forecast. Increasing cloudiness. We could see some isolated showers this afternoon and this evening into the overnight hours and lingering tomorrow morning. High today 76, overnight low 60. Looking for a high tomorrow on Thursday. Sunny, cooler on Friday with a high of 66. And a sunny weekend. Sunshine both Saturday and Sunday. Saturday's high 70, 74 on Sunday. 71 in Madison, 69 in Green Bay, 72 in Milwaukee. I'm Connie Weber. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time, 11:34.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text ALL to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text ALL to 321-321. That's ALL to 321-321.
Vince Vitrano here for Connect Chiropractic. Get your aches and pains under control and bring back your energy. Whether it's headaches, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, time and repetition is key to staying on the right track. I've been seeing Dr. Alex and his team for 2 years now. No twisting, no cracking, no popping. Connect Chiropractic uses a special tool that is targeted and effective, yet pain-free and gentle. In Delafield and Wauwatosa, and the new location on Rawson Avenue in Oak Creek. Get started at GoConnectChiro.com.
Looking for an e-bike? Shop Wheel and Sprocket and find rows and rows of bikes in a bunch of different styles and colors for you to see, touch, feel, and even test ride.
Visit wheelandsprocket.com for a location near you.
Life is short. Enjoy your ride.
Protect your liver and give it the support it deserves with Active Liver from New Nordic. Find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS, Meijer Grocery, or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Thanks for staying with us on this sort of sad morning. School shooting at a Catholic school in South Minneapolis. 2 children aged 8 and 10. Think about that for a second. Killed while sitting in their church pew. Just let that resonate. And I mean, it's just unbelievable what we have to talk about. We have a ton of texts. We thought, because we typically do Ask Us Anything, if you have a question that you want to ask us about this story, we certainly entertain it. We'll do our best to answer it.
Yeah, we're not probably going to do any goofy questions.
No, none of the, because we do get the silly stuff, which we love, but that's not the moment for it. I got a couple of texts I want to read, just sort of launch into that. This is from the 414. Grandparent of 10, I assume they mean girls aged 10 and 12. Up until last year would have been in a similar mass on a Wednesday. My heart is so broken for the families. As always, thanks for discussing. Yeah, I mean, as somebody who was involved in a mass shooting as a public official where individuals were killed in their place of worship, it strikes deeper. Don't see it coming. Last place you'd expect. This is serious stuff. Not a moment to pontificate about, what you think about gun laws. We'll certainly give our opinions, but it's not. I don't want to lecture anybody. As adults and citizens, we should want to do something to reduce the likelihood. Give an example, unrelated. We have millions of us drive around every day. We have laws that sort of regulate that. We have speed limits. We have seatbelt laws, car seat requirements.
Drinking and driving laws.
Drinking and driving. All things that, even in a very dangerous situation with a vehicle going, let's be honest, 75 miles in a 65 on a highway, that are designed to reduce the likelihood you will be killed in an auto accident. When it comes to guns, guaranteed, ownership guaranteed by the Second Amendment, we don't do any of that, or very little of that.
Well, states by states.
States by states. It's different, vastly different, actually, in some states. We should be thinking in a different way about this problem. And any attempt to skirt it or change the subject is not only a waste of my time, and it should be your time, but it's dangerous because then we get more stories like this. There's no debates on the number of school shootings. So if anyone's arguing that today, turn them off, stop listening to them. That's not debatable here. The media is not over-reporting this. We actually do less. We don't even say the name of the shooter anymore in most cases.
Well, we didn't report. If we have just, had there not been a school shooting this morning, now knowing that there was multiple shootings in Minneapolis just like from last night into today, we wouldn't have spent a whole show on those other shootings.
Yeah. Here's an interesting text I just got from the 920. A few years back, our Catholic school, which is separate from the church, now has a police presence at the church whenever there's an all-school mass. Let that sink in for a bit. That's how the reality has changed. And we're going to spend a lot of time in the weeks ahead talking about the details, what we know about the shooter, how they got access to, I think I threw it away.
A rifle, a shotgun and a pistol.
And, by the way, according to the police chief, Brian O'Hara, barricaded 2 doors with 2x4s. So this shooter, and he's dead, or he or she, I guess I should
No, he said it was
young man? Okay. He is now dead.
They didn't know the age. Or didn't report the age.
May have a history of other issues. We don't know that yet. May have just been some other motivation. Maybe went to this. I have no idea, but not going to speculate on that. We have to think about these things, not as things to talk about, but to actually deconstruct and fix what ails us.
What
and
would
we're
you
not
like
doing
to see
that.
happen?
Much stricter conditions on who can own weapons, firearms.
That means
guns.
age limits.
Age
background
limits,
checks.
certainly. Yeah. I know that's a very
I mean, Minnesota has
pretty strict
better gun laws than, I mean, it's a bluer state, right? So they have stronger gun laws than we do.
And I used to talk to mayors because I used to go to the U.S. Conference of Mayors. I talked to mayors who had very strict gun laws, and in a lot of ways, it did reduce gun crimes, which is sort of a natural thing you would assume after those things. I think when I'm looking for positive movement, I want to see red flag laws enforced and put in place in every state. I want to make sure that felons don't have access to guns. And when they use a gun in a commission of a crime, especially when they discharge a weapon, they're not going to get out of jail or prison for a long time. Sorry, but that's the way I feel about it. Because that individual cannot harm somebody in the general public when they're serving time for having done that already. I know some people think, just send them back out. They'll do what they got to do. And we have too many repeat offenders. That's the law enforcement side. Judges have to be harsher. But I think when you look at the rules of the road when it comes to gun ownership, all of us responsible gun owners also have to say, what can we do? And it might be simple as that. What can we do? To your elected leaders, I'm going to read a text quick that I got on my personal phone. And I can find it real quick here. It is about this issue. And I said, contact your legislatures. This texter said it's futile. They can't even control our current president. I don't want to make it about politics. How will they make significant changes? Constant reinforcement of a message or on a subject can be persuasive. That's my argument. Constantly saying to you, what are you going to do? Stop giving me thoughts or prayers. I love that on the day that it's happening. Love that. Do more of that. But after that, the next post should say something. What are you planning to do? And when you say, and this is the one thing that drives me nuts about this, we're gonna make sure if mental health is the driver, we don't know that's the case here. But when it is, you're going to spend more money on mental health. Better damn well spend more money on mental health, because I see too many cases where they cut those funds, cut those appropriations. How is that fulfilling your campaign promise or your election promise? It's not. You're being dishonest. You're saying one thing and then doing another. So there's opportunity for all of us to step up here and do the right thing, as my dad used to tell me. Do the right thing, even when it's hard. This is really hard. Easy part is sending thoughts and prayers. The hard part is fixing it. Again, understanding that even in a country with no guns, they will still find a way to kill other people. Here's the reality, though. In the UK, they're going to kill less.
What about we talked about this a little bit with parents and the responsibility of parents if you are a gun owner. But I've heard different ideas as far as like the idea of insurance as gun control, of like the liability insurance. And if someone uses your gun to commit a crime, your insurance rates go up. And as far as like hit people in their pocket when it comes to this, I don't know how, if that passes the muster for the constitutionality of it or whatever. But I just feel like is there other creative ways we could be thinking about this?
Yes. And it's only going to happen if legislators, lawmakers, policy writers are brave enough to do it. And that's hard because we know what happens. There's lobbyists who, unfortunately, in this country they have more power than the citizens that the elected serve do because they have money in their pocket. There's a reason why people go to Congress and become millionaires because all those lobbying firms pay them to speak, air quoting speak, to their groups, to listen to their messaging, which is basically do this, vote this way, and I'll give you this money. That's the reality. And that's why we get what we get. Texture says more laws won't help. Well, enforcement's part of it. More laws might help. In some cases, they have. Kristin, Steve, point taken.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free. 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
As the kiddos get ready to get back to school, you can find really great back-to-school savings at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores. School supplies and some surprisingly cool clothing, too. And teachers, you get an additional discount. Get the best back-to-school bargains at St. Vincent de Paul thrift stores on Highway 100 in Layton and Greenfield, 23rd in Lincoln, and 76th and Bradley Road in Milwaukee.
You're gonna love it, St. Vincent de Paul.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
A great way to add value and curb appeal to your home is with the new LiftMaster or CHI maintenance-free garage door. Hey, it's WTMJ's Greg Matzik. A study by Remodelers Magazine reports that the average return on investment is an amazing 82%. Garage doors rank first among all home improvement projects. To see Geis's huge selection of doors, visit their showroom in Brookfield, or you can also visit their online showroom at geisdoors.com. Geis has everything from alley doors to custom wood designer doors and everything in between. Remember, for all your garage door needs, you call Geis at 262-784-4250. That number again, 262-784-4250. It's Geis. Visit them online at geisdoors.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
All types of injury lawyers advertise. Cartoon lawyers, bobblehead lawyers, and folks chasing ambulances with text messages. Our clients don't want or need such lawyers. Our clients know, like, and trust that Pasternak and Zergabel will help in their time of need. I'm Frank Pasternak of Pasternak and Zergabel. Jeff Zergabel and I are excellent personal injury lawyers in our community. If you need help after an injury, go to Pasternak and Zergabel at injurywisconsin.com. That's injurywisconsin.com.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
Latest from Minneapolis, school shooting, a Catholic school, South Minneapolis, 2 children killed, 14 children and 3 adults hurt. We've had one presser this morning. It's about 11 o'clock. There'll be probably a lot more throughout the course of the day. We're sort of assessing and finding out the details as we go. A lot of text about the laws. I'm going to say a couple things, and then maybe it puts it in sort of a different context. So I'm somebody that's been to Washington, D.C. 100 times, and I've been in the offices of congresspeople in our state. Some that are no longer serving, some that are currently serving. And as you sit there waiting your turn, because they're very scheduled, you realize pretty quickly that the people that keep churning through those offices are lobbyists, representing a lot of different interests that maybe aren't our interests, those being the constituents that the people serve. And you want to make a change? Here's a quick change. Here's a thing you could do. They'll never do it because they control what they can and can't do. Eliminate the ability of lobbyists to come into their offices. Completely. You want to go find them somewhere else, go find them somewhere else. Do it on your own time, not our time. When you're in your office, you're taking constituents' phone calls. You're answering.
You're working on policy.
Yeah, policy that you sort of.
Well, that's the other thing
about.
as far as how often these like white label state legislative laws are getting written and then kind of like a couple things changed and then introduced, but it's not laws that have been written by elected officials. It's laws that have been written by like think tanks or lobbyists and then spread across state houses in the attempt to get laws passed, because it is hard to get things passed for that federal level because of the locked nature of divided government. But as we know, as we were talking about redistricting and how many state houses, I mean, how many states we have where there is no divided government. It's either all Democratic or all
How's
Republican.
That working out?
And so you can push legislation through a lot easier at the state level. And that's the thing, though. But it's not written by lawmakers. It's written sometimes by lobbyists.
Yeah.
Or like the Heritage Foundation.
And if you represent an organization, I'm sorry that I made you mad by saying that. I don't think you deserve the time with our elected leaders. That's for us. And the fact that you are getting all of their important time, you are taking this country in a direction that you want, not necessarily serving the public's interest, is problematic to me. So that's a simple one that I've just been thinking about. Lots of people making the argument that regardless of the law, nothing will change. I don't buy that. There are things, there's always ways to make small incremental changes that tick the arrow in a different direction. Instead of more mass shootings, we have less. And every time you do that, you save a life.
It's as easy as like just looking at the before and after the ban on automatic weapons.
Yeah.
When that expired, guess what happened?
Yeah. I get that you're thrilled to be able to own those firearms. And when I go into a gun store...
Have you shot one?
Yeah, I have shot one. It's part of my...
Is it like exhilarating?
It's fun, yeah. I get the rush they get. And when I walk into a gun store, which I did recently, they're all over. They're plastered all over the wall. That's their big sellers. And now it's not just buying one, it's stockpiling them. Look, we can do something. We choose not to. And when you choose not to, these are some of the things that can happen. There's nothing's perfect. We're not going to eliminate them. That's not what I'm talking about, because they have problems like this in other countries that don't have the guns we have. But you can certainly knock it down.
They have events that happen. I don't know if you would say it's a problem.
Yeah, it's different, certainly than our environment that we live in. And ask a parent today how they feel about this. I guess if you're some angry guy on social media or texting, ask one of your friends who are parents of young children how they feel today. Just get their perspective. I know it's hard to listen sometimes because most of the people that are trolls on the internet don't like to listen to anybody but themselves or their internet buddies. Spend some time listening and maybe ease up on the orders from your Amazon account for all the tactical gear you like to strut around and pretend you're a big shot. Maybe take a pause on that.
A specific person in mind right now that you're thinking of as you say this?
Tell you what.
I don't know anyone who owns tactical gear. Do you know a lot of these people?
You get around northern Wisconsin. You see it when you go to a restaurant. You
They
see
wear it?
Huh?
They just wear it out?
Maybe.
It's the supper club?
It's their uniform. Let's put it that way. It's not unique to Wisconsin. It's everywhere. And I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings on this day. Don't care. Quick break.
Snakes. Why did it have to be snakes?
Okay, we'll send these snakes slithering back to the desert.
Crack! Wall! See you later!
It's the Brewers and Diamondbacks in Milwaukee. This series is sponsored by Steinhoffel's Labor Day Sale. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts tonight at 6:05. We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scaffidi for QC Kinetics. I did something about my elbow pain. I went to QC Kinetics. I talked to Dr. Ashley Caravelli. I've had 3 treatments in the last couple months. And what was significant elbow pain, it hurt to turn a doorknob, has diminished completely with 3 treatments using my own fluids, my own natural cellular therapies, no scalpels, no pills, just long-term relief with already great recovery, better flexibility. You can even bring your own x-rays, MRIs if you've tried other options. They will give you a free, no-pressure chat. Just talk to them. Start with the conversation. 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. That's the first part. Go and see what they can do for you. This is something that you can do for yourself to make you feel better and change your life. Don't live with pain. Do what I did. Go to QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474, 414-285-3474. Get rid of the pain. Change your life. QC Kinetics.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Does our Inspired Closets team make dreams come true?
Every day, Dan. From consultation to design to installation, the whole process is built around our clients.
Which is how we earn our 5-star reviews. It's our team that makes the difference.
Inspired Closets is more than just organization. It's an investment in you.
Get started today at inspiredclosets.com.
Inspired Closets Milwaukee, a wife and husband team.
Take your family to the Mine Shaft restaurant in Hartford or Oshkosh today for the Wednesday all-you-can-eat fish fry and just $7.99. Kids 5 and under eat free from the kids menu. Just walk in for your $7.99 fish fry. It's big food. It's big fun. It's the Mine Shaft restaurant.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Not the show that we wanted to do today, but there are times when breaking news sort of changes the direction, and we're able to do that with you for 2 hours today, and I'm sure that our broadcasting day will have a lot of information. Get you up to speed. A shooting in Minneapolis at a school and church, South Minneapolis. 2 children dead. 8 and 10 are their ages. Let that sink in. 14 children hurt, 3 adults hurt as well. Gunman, now dead, killed himself, coward, and shot through the church windows, hitting those adults.
Barricaded the doors.
And barricaded doors with 2x4s. On a day like this, there's going to be a lot of people talking about a lot of different things related to this story. I saw this from Tom in Kewaskum, and I think it speaks to what I was trying to get to. Tom said he cried like a baby this morning, papa to 8 grandkids. And I feel that too. I have grandkids. I had 2 daughters who are now adults. I can't get past it. Sorry. It's part of my story, and certainly probably part of all of our stories now. Bottom line for me is, and I'll let you take it to the break, it's something we should not have as parents have to deal with, but we do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to deal with this yet because Frankie's not old enough that I'm dropping her off at school, but I have no confidence that this is an issue that will not still be an issue by the time she does go to school. And as I said to you during the break, my friends who've married people who are from different countries and think seriously about using that opportunity to move to a different place because they do not want to send their kids to school here. This is the first week of school.
Yep. And this
is where we're starting.
That's the wake-up call in Minneapolis. News is next on 620 WTMJ.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato